This is example 2 for the assembly drawings lesson. To begin example 2, we again want to start with our example 2 assembly file open. But before we start our drawing, we need to look at another aspect to files within SOLIDWORKS, and that's the ability to have multiple configurations of a single file. If I select the Configurations tab, I can then see that I've already created 3 configurations: the default configuration, an up configuration, and a down configuration. Now, simply for an assembly in its basic form, the configuration is just saving information that we've set in regards to the position of our assembly. More complicated configurations can suppress certain parts, change parts with other parts. There's a multitude of things that you can do with configurations. But for the purpose of this lesson, we're just going to look at having configurations saving an assembly file in multiple locations. So let's just look at how I created that configuration. All I did to create the configuration was simply right-click and select Add Configuration. Once I add my configuration, I can give my configuration a name and a description and select OK. Now that I have my new configuration, I can move my assembly to a new location and then go to a different configuration. You can see as I go to each configuration, the location is saved that I set within that configuration. Well, that's all we need to cover for configurations for now. So let's go ahead and start a new drawing file. Select New, select the 8.5 by 11 inch drawing template, and select OK. Select the View palette, select our example 2 file, and insert a front view. Let's go ahead and exit out of the projected view, and then select that view. We'll apply shading to the view and have a custom scale of 1 to 4. I mean, a little bit nicer of a size. Now the next thing we want to do is right-click, select Properties, and then we want this configuration to be the down configuration. So we want the drawing to be appeared in the down configuration. Then let's go ahead and select OK. And now let's select the view, select View Layout, select Alternate Position View, and let's use an existing configuration. From our list of existing configurations, we'll select the up configuration and select OK. Now we've added a set of dotted lines showing our assembly in the up configuration. This is a very useful way of viewing assembly files that have the ability to move. Next, I'd like to cover the ability to add notes that are linked to document properties. So if we right-click, we'll select Annotation, and then select Note. I'm going to select one of the faces of the hook, and before I drop my note, I'm going to select Link to Property. In Link to Property, I can select what type of property I'm linking to, whether it's the model the annotation is attached to, or the component the annotation is attached to. So if it were the model, it would be the full assembly, and with the component, it's just the hook. I want just the hook. I'm going to select the component to which the annotation is attached. And then let's go ahead and select the file name and select OK. Now when I drop that annotation, again we get the formatting box so I can change the size. I could continue to add text if I wanted, but that's fine. I just want to leave that annotation that's the name of the part. We can see the annotation note is still active, so I can continue selecting parts and dropping annotations. And these are continuing to be that same linked annotation. If you notice, if I press enter after I do that, that deleted all the text because it was highlighted. I'm going to press Control Z to undo that. When you're done with the annotation, simply click anywhere on the screen. You don't press enter, just click anywhere else on the screen. Let's continue just adding annotations to our part. Noting that we could add an annotation to that alternate position view as well. When you're finished adding annotations, just press Escape to get out of the Insert Annotation command. So there you go. We've learned how to add an alternate position view, and we've also learned how to add link notes. Now I should note that this alternate position view is dynamic, so it can cause you problems. Just to show you, I'm going to Control Tab back to my full assembly, and then in the up configuration, I'm going to move the assembly down a little bit. I'll now Control Tab back to my drawing, and we'll see that this assembly has moved down. So this is the main reason why I first created a configuration for up and for down, so that when you're working with the model after you've created the drawing, it's a wise idea to work with the model in the default configuration. So now you know you can move the model around, and it's not going to affect your drawing because the drawing is relying on the up configuration and the down configuration. That concludes this lesson, and I hope it was a help.